Faded Glory, The Laodicean Chronicles, written by Dan Mason. Prologue. Dawn of a New Order. A democracy cannot exist as a permanent form of government. It can only exist until the voters discover that they can vote themselves largesse from the public treasury. From that moment on, the majority always votes for the candidates promising the most benefits from the public treasury, with the result that a democracy always collapses over loose fiscal policy, always followed by a dictatorship. The average age of the world's greatest civilizations has been 200 years. These nations have progressed through this sequence, from bondage to spiritual faith, from spiritual faith to great courage, from courage to liberty, from liberty to abundance, from abundance to selfishness, from selfishness to apathy, from apathy to dependence, from dependence back into bondage. Alexander Fraser Tytler. The year was 2027, and the world stood at the precipice of an era unlike before. War loomed on every horizon. Nations teetered on the brink of collapse, and the very fabric of global society seemed poised to unravel. In the midst of this chaos, a figure emerged, one who would forever alter the course of history. New York. Then there was New York. The nuclear detonation near the United Nations headquarters in New York had sent shockwaves far beyond the immediate devastation. A nuclear explosion, its blinding light and destructive force a grim reminder of humanity's capacity for self-destruction, shattered any lingering illusions of security. The aftermath left the city in ruins, and the heart of international diplomacy had been irreparably scarred. In addition, the United States was reeling from the collapse of its dollar. Therefore, the epicenter of global power shifted once more across the Atlantic to a resurgent Western Europe. Leaders from across the continent convened in the grand halls of the newly established Global Unity Parliament in Brussels, their faces etched with the strain of unprecedented crises. It was here that Alexandre Marchand, the charismatic and enigmatic leader of the newly formed Global Coalition for Peace and Prosperity, GCPP, was speaking at the Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment, PGI, and took center stage. His rise had been meteoric, a beacon of hope in a world darkened by fear and uncertainty. Marchand stood tall, his presence commanding, as he addressed the assembly. "Esteemed colleagues and citizens of the world," he began, his voice resonating with a calm authority, "we find ourselves at a crossroads in human history. The old world order has crumbled beneath the weight of its own excesses and failures. Now we have the opportunity to forge a new path, one of unity, peace, and shared prosperity. In this new world order, power lies in the hands of those who control the information." His words struck a chord, not just within the chamber but around the globe. People listened with rapt attention, desperate for a semblance of hope and direction. Marchand's vision was clear. A novel global government rooted in cooperation and mutual respect to steer humanity away from the abyss. Marchand's peace initiatives began to take hold in the Middle East, a region long plagued by conflict and strife. Under his watchful eye, historic agreements between age-old adversaries were sought, promising an era of reconciliation and rebuilding. As the world's eyes turned towards this unlikely harbinger of peace, many dared to believe that a new dawn was possible. The global economy, shattered by the collapse of the American dollar, required an equally bold solution. Marchand proposed a new economic framework, the Global Currency Reserve, GCR, designed to stabilize markets and restore confidence. This digital currency, backed by a consortium of nations, promised to usher in a period of economic recovery and innovation. Yet even as hope began to take root, shadows lingered. The nuclear explosion in New York served as a stark reminder of the perils that still threaten this fragile world order. Intelligence agencies worldwide scrambled to uncover the perpetrators while speculation and conspiracy theories ran rampant. Amidst this turmoil, Marchand's call for unity and strength grew louder. "Let us not be divided by fear or mistrust," he urged. "Together we can overcome any challenge. Together we can build a world where our children are safe, our economies are robust, and our differences are celebrated rather than feared. Remember, fear is the most powerful weapon in the arsenal of our New World Order. Instead of seeking consensus, he was shaping it." As the months passed, the GCPP's influence spread, and Marchand's vision began to take shape. Skeptics remained, wary of placing their trust in a single leader and a fledgling global government. Yet the momentum was undeniable. The world was changing, and Marchand stood at the helm, guiding it through the storm. In the quiet moments, however, whispers of doubt crept in. Could one man, even one as seemingly visionary as Alexandre Marchand, truly deliver on such grand promises? Would this new world order be a beacon of hope or the prelude to a new kind of tyranny? As the world held its breath, the answers to these questions remained shrouded in the uncertain mists of the future. Alexandre Marchand stood looking up at a global map. Many stood around him, breathing his energy and power. He was new to the world stage, but not to his close followers. To them, he was known as the architect,